Hello guys, Nigel here with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench, once again with another review for you. And today this isn't a kit review. The kit I ordered hasn't turned up, so I'll obviously be here tomorrow. So but I've had a delivery today, lucky me, from Premium Hobbies, Ed down at Premium Hobbies in Weston-super-Mare. He's had some big orders in lately, so go take a look. The stuff that came in yesterday, today is Wednesday, the 9th of March 2022. He had a delivery yesterday, a big Infini delivery. So if you've been looking for stuff on there, I know that Harry's been looking for the Type A cutting mat from Infini, and I know that Ed has confirmed they actually came in yesterday, but they're not showing on the website yet because as soon as it came in, he's had to go. He's having a couple of days off. So basically, I've had a delivery of some paint, some cutting mats and some paint racks. So let's first of all just have a look. So the paints, you'll probably be aware what they are. They're a brand new range from MRP and they're Japanese colours, and apparently they have very vividly researched the colours. I'll show you these two I've got here initially. I'm not going to review these in this video. I'll do another video of these and we'll actually do some paint samples on a B-52 wing because it's a big bit of plastic and we can see how they're going to look. But we've got the, I'm not sure how you pronounce that. If you could tell me, Ayatake green primer. Okay, it's probably Atake. There's the green primer, and then just to give you a contrast next to it, there's the blue. So really nice. I've also got here, I didn't get all of them. I've got the olive grey Mitsubishi version. Not sure what that's going to be for. And then we've got the Mitsubishi cockpit colour, aged. So that's like a sort of muddy green colour you can see there. And then I've also got the cowling colour, which is kind of a bluey, greeny. It would be very difficult to mix, I think. It's like a very dark blue green. I don't know if you can see through there. If I put it down in the light, you can see it's like on the end there, I'm showing you here. You can see through there, it's like a very dark blue green. It's almost like a blue black ink. So I got that one. Maybe I'll order some more, I don't know. So there we go. So we've also got some cutting mats here to show you. These are the brand new range of clear ones. Don't quite know the point in having clear ones over the orange ones, but we'll have a look. I don't honestly see why they've done these. The other thing I got, which I'm really excited about, are these paint racks. I've got two boxes here, two boxes the same size. Here we go. And basically what Infini have done, they've actually got like a generic box, and then you've got on this side, you've got ICT 12 and 13, which are the wide type for like your Tamiya and your Mr. Hobby paint pots. And you've got the 4 shelf and you've got the 6 shelf type there. And then when you turn it around, you have ICT 0014 and 15, and again you've got the 4 type and the 5 type, and these are for the Tamiya enamel bottles or like Viejo or whatever. So they're very good. I have got here, I have got the 15, so that's the 6 rack Viejo one, and I've got the number 12, which is the 4 rack for the actual Tamiya paints. So we'll get those out and we'll build one up and we'll have a look and see how that looks. But they do look very nice. They've got stainless steel racks and perspex ends, so they're going to be lovely and easy to clean. Unlike the wooden ones that collect dust and it all gets sort of ground in and everything, these will be easily wipeable clean. And I'm assuming because they're acrylic, they should be pretty resistant to some of your thinners and stuff if you get any paint spot on them and you want to clean them. So I also know that he's had a couple of cancellations, just 2 cancellations on the border model Lancaster. So if you want to get one of them, I think he's the cheapest in the country. It's £600. He's doing it on a pre-order basis. The kit is £600. It retails at £620, so he's doing £20 off. But then if you use my code NMB10, obviously you get 10% off. So that makes the kit £540. So I think the next cheapest is Hannant's at £547. I think it's £547. So it's if you're going to get one, I would get your order in early. If anything goes pear-shaped, Ed will refund you 100%. There will be no issues there whatsoever. It was due in December, then it was due in February. I've had a couple of people have emailed me, and I'm sorry, I've had to clear out my emails and I think I must have accidentally deleted your emails. I'm really sorry, but the plan was I was going to reply to you once I had some information. I have emailed Border Models, I think on Sunday night, and I've heard nothing back from them. As I say, today's Wednesday. Normally they respond to me within a few hours. So I don't know what's going on, whether they're off, whether they're, you know, really struggling to get the kit produced. I don't know. I have had a browse through the French guy's review of the kit on YouTube, and short shots abound, short shots and flash. So yeah, they're obviously having some issues. But anyway, the other Hadants are saying probably going to be sort of March time dispatched and then available in May. They have told me that they would send me a kit as soon as it is ready. I don't know. So I don't know. But anyway, if you do want to get one, I would get your pre-order in with Eddie. As I say, he's got two left. And that's not just sales talk. He's ordered a certain amount. I can't remember how many it is now. And they have to order in sort of batches of so many, I believe he said. And say it was 12, he's now got 2 available because he sold 10. It may have been 24, I'm not sure. But they only get a certain allocation and that's it. And as Border have said all the way from the beginning, with this kit, when it's kind of gone, it's gone, because they'll have problems with mold maintenance and stuff like that. And the way things are going, I can certainly believe it. So it's a big old project for them to be taking on. You know, big sprues, as I've said to you before. I have worked in the plastic injection molding, and if you look at all your, you know, we've been talking about a lot Ukrainian kits. If you look at like your Mini R and your Models Vit, they have very small sprues, no ejector pin marks, very limited flash, beautiful detail. It's because it's easy to make a small sprue. Well, it's easier to make a small sprue than it is a big one. You can imagine, if you understand physics, engineering, whatever, if you've got, I know I'm waffling, fast forward. If you've got a mold tool which is, say, you know, this big by this big, the surface area is so many square inches. If you've got a mold tool that's this thick by this big, the surface area is a lot less. So if you have a force holding that tool together of so many tons, which equates to, in this little tool, 50 psi, 50 pounds per square inch, you can clamp that tool tight, you can ram the plastic in there, get a good fill, good pressure, and because it's all tight and the tool is good, you'll get no flash, you'll get beautiful detail, no short shots, really good repeatability, awesome. If you then put a mold tool on the same machine, which is this big, and you ram your 50 tons into it, whatever, the PSI is vastly deteriorated. You can see this tool here will fit, you know, 30, 40 times into that tool. So you're reducing your actual PSI loading by up to 40 times. Then you start getting flash. So, and you start to get short shots. So you up the pressure to get more plastic in, or you put a larger mass into the tool, which in effect ups the pressure because you inject over a certain amount of time. Then what you get is loads and loads of flash, because you're basically, your force of your injected plastic is overcoming the clamping force of the tool. So there we go. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get to the bench. Let's have a look at these new products. We'll get one of these, or at least one part of one of these paint mats put together, and we'll have a look at these Infini cutting mats. And as I say, I'll do maybe tomorrow or the day after, I'll do the MRP paint. So we'll do some spraying trials on some on a plastic wing or something, and then we can see how they look on a grey bare plastic wing. See how they look. Right, see you in a minute. Okay, so I've had a look on the channel, and Ed actually has, while he's away, he's obviously jumped on his phone or something, and he has actually put all the stuff now in stock. So anything that you've been looking for the Infini range that, you know, it's been out of stock, it is now there. So you can now get on there and order your cutting mats to your heart's content. So if you follow my channel, you've seen me review and use this one many times. There are actually 4 of these. There is type A, there is type B, which has got circles and diamonds and stuff on it, as you can see there. Then there's type C, which is here, which is still in its packet. So you've got type C there, which is basically just large radii and stuff. which is really handy for like Millennium Falcon and stuff like that. And then you have type D, which is all your finer, smaller stuff, which, as you can see there, is really good. And it's basically all, if you're not new, if you haven't seen Infini cutting mats before, they're basically just very, very fine grooves, and you can put masking tape on there, and then you can follow around with a knife and cut out your shapes. I would advise a nice swivel knife for doing these. It's very difficult to control the knife in a nice radius. So what we're going to concentrate on today is type A, although I have got B as well. So this is the standard type. Now apparently Infini have been asked to make these in clear. So here is type B. This is type A, which is the standard, just straight lines. And then this is type B. To make it easier for you to see what is actually going on, I will show you type B. This is type B. Okay, so it's basically the same, but in clear. So you've got these fine little squares down here. You have your triangles down here, finer squares down here, and then you have sort of rectangles and diamonds and stuff down here. You've got some small circles there and then some larger circles there. So that's what you're basically getting. So looking at type A, as you can see, these are brand new. I haven't opened them. He had them sent to me UPS, and I was really surprised. UPS are normally very good, and they turned up like gone 5 o'clock. So there we go. So it's got some sort of protective sheeting on the back. I'm not going to rip that off because I may well send this back to Ed so he can sell it. But there we go. We've got a protective sheet on the back. The other thing these are really good for, you can turn them over, you can cut your photo etch. You don't want to be cutting photo etch on something soft, because when you cut it, especially if your blade isn't quite brand new, you'll actually bend the edge of the photo etch. It's good to do on acrylic. I've seen some people use kitchen tile, a spare kitchen tile. That's all well and good. The trouble is then, if you cut it with a kitchen tile and you slip, the knife will slip right across. You could cut yourself badly. Better to use acrylic sheet because the knife kind of digs in and it saves it skidding. But I digress. So basically here what we've got is a cutting mat of the clear type. And I honestly don't see the point in having that over that. And as I said, when I was talking to you just now face to face, I would love someone to tell me why they would want that over that. I mean, this is opaque. You put the tape on there, I can see the dark lines. I can easily come along here. I can come along to the next line over. I can come down and I can cut my tape. And there we go. I've got my piece of tape there. This is pre-cut across already. So, but basically the way it works, just to show you, in case you haven't seen these before, if I want some strips, so these are 5mm divisions across there, so I can cut that away and chuck that out. And then if I wanted 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35mm long, okay, and I want a strip of tape, so I'm going to cut off this edge here because it's not straight, so I'll cut that edge off there. So we'll get rid of that. Okay, and if I want some strips 35mm long at 0.9mm wide, all I've got to do is come along with a blade and cut through and follow these tracks down, and you can see that I'm cutting through there, and it's absolutely, just for masking and stuff like that and for making belts and stuff, it is such a handy tool. You can see there I have a strip of tape which is perfectly cut and with a nice sharp edge and everything. If you are doing canopy masking and stuff, I'd recommend brand new blade, okay, and then just a tiny bit of pressure on there, cuts through, really crisp. Really handy for doing some, like I almost said Heineken then, a Heinkel 111 canopy. You got the huge nose canopy, so if you wanted some squares, you know, you can sort of cut out your squares like this, so you can actually then mask your canopy in squares, and you know that everyone is a perfect square, so you can put that into the corner of the glazing. So this is this is the Lancaster one I was doing where I cut the top off, so I can put that one into there in the corner, just like so, like that. Okay, that's just snapped. And then I've got another one here, and I can put that one in the opposite corner, just like that. Okay, so you can basically mask your canopy up with perfect squares. You know then you're going to get nice sharp corners after it's masked and everything. So that's a really good use for it. So million uses, really handy tool. I really wouldn't be without them. Now as I say, we've got the same thing here but in clear. So again, I can put my tape down on there. Okay, so now I can see through the tape. I've got the white lines on here. I can't see through the tape, so that could be something to do with it. So we can come into that groove and we can cut through there just like so, and remove that strip of tape off the edge just like that. Come on. So that's our scrap piece. So that's that edge cleaned up. So if I wanted a piece, say 3mm wide, go across 3mm, and I can come down, cut my strip 3mm wide, and then take it off, and there we go. And I've got a strip of tape 3mm wide that I can use for masking something. The only thing I would say, and this is not a criticism of Infini or a criticism of the mat, if you want a 5mm wide strip, counting 5 of these will not give you a 5mm strip. I think what they've done is to give you a 1mm strip, they've got sort of 1.1mm or something, because I found if you go back, and I can't remember which model I was doing now, I think it was the Stuka, and I was using these here, and I found that, yeah, it was doing those strips, those bands, and I found that I wanted 8mm wide bands, and if I cut 8 it gave me like a 9mm wide band, so I ended up cutting 7 to give me an 8. It was like 7.7 or something. So basically, you know, it's worth measuring first, and then you know exactly what you're doing. But if you want 1mm strips, there you are. Okay, so that's what the cutting mats are for. And again, you can go all the way down, come across here. The one thing I will say, this does actually feel a lot kinder to the blade. With this one, I think you could hear it's kind of knocking it about, but on this one it's much smoother. It's like it's a softer material perhaps, which means it might not last as long. I don't know, but there we go. So we can cut that edge off, and certainly I can see that where I'm going the knife is leaving a mark, so I can cut that edge off and then come down here, come over to the next line and cut that strip out, and then I've got a nice really narrow, what's that, 0.6, so there's your 0.6mm wide piece of masking tape. So that's the cutting mats, and they are really good. Whether you go for the clear or the opaque is entirely up to you. I'm going to take this tape off of here. So there we go. I guess I can't send them back to Ed now because they're used. You can see, yeah, but this is certainly seems softer than this one. I would much prefer this one over this one, I must be honest, unless somebody can come up with a great reason why you would want to use this. I honestly don't understand it. I mean, somebody did suggest perhaps you could put it over something and cut through, but then say I wanted to cut along the edge of that premium Hobbies badge, as soon as I put the tape on I've covered it up anyway, so you know, it's very strange. Don't really know. So as I say, let me know in the comments below, and if you've got any suggestions as to where it will be made like that, I'll try it out and see if it works. But only on this one. I'm not going to use B. I will definitely send B back, or if Ed doesn't want it, perhaps I'll do a giveaway or sell it for charity or something. In fact, that might be what I'll do. Maybe I'll sell these on here and I'll give the money to a charity. And I think we all know which one that will be. So that's that one. Okay, so that's the cutting mat A. I'm going to put it back in its packet so it don't get damaged. And as I say, if you've got any ideas as to why that's been made like that, I'd be interested to know. And there's the Type B as well. The Type A cutting mat is £16.95. So with your NMB discount, that comes at about 50. I never work out exactly. It's going to be about 15.30. And then you've got your B type mat is £17.95. So that's going to come out about 16.20. So and this one is £17.95. So these are actually £1 cheaper than these. So If you really are on a tight budget, then perhaps go for these, but I don't understand why. But anyway. Okay then guys, I'm slotting this bit in the middle of the video, although I've finished the video now, but this is sort of the end. Just about to show you the paint racks, even though they're already done. Anyway, what I've decided to do with these, I don't need them. I've got the full set of the orange ones. And as I say, I don't understand why you would want the clear ones. I said earlier in the video that if you want to send me suggestions, I'll try it out. I'm not going to do that. Reason being, I'm going to sell these on to the highest bidder. And the highest bidder will pay me the money for them. I will post them to them. You have to be able to pay me via PayPal. I will post them to you. I will cover the cost of the postage. And all the money you donate, all the money you pay for these, will go to the Ukraine humanitarian appeal. And that is, I can sort of donate any amount on there. It suggests 30, 50 or £100, but I can actually change the amount and donate. So these actually cost, as I say, $16.95 and $17.95 on the Premium Hobbies website. Or you can donate to a good cause and send the money to me, and I will forward it, and I will show you a receipt of the money that I've paid to the Ukraine humanitarian appeal. I'll do a screenshot or something and put it up in one of my next videos. So today is Thursday the 10th of March 2022, and it is right now, it is 13:10. So what I will say is by midnight or 11:59 p.m. on the 11th of March 2022, and that's 11:59 p.m. UK time, so that's GMT, so like California's -8 hours, I think, and I think Australia's like 9 or 10 or 11 hours ahead or whatever. You have to check on your Google, but basically donate or pledge me some money. nigelsmodelingbench@gmail.com. Okay, you'll have to be able to pay me via PayPal. I would expect payment to be within 24 hours of me announcing it on Saturday the 12th of March 2022. So you can pay me the money. I will pay the money directly into the Ukraine humanitarian appeal. And as I say, I will cover the postage anywhere in the world, and I will send these to you. And you can have these knowing you've donated to a charity to help those poor souls over in the Ukraine. So that's what we'll do. So nigelsmodelingbench@gmail.com, the highest bidder wins, and you will get these pair of mats. This one is brand new, unopened and unused. This one has been used for the purposes of making this video and nothing more. And I think I already mentioned, if I didn't, I did say in the video that if you want to send me suggestions to try, I will try them. Obviously I'm not going to do that now because I'm going to donate these to whoever pays the most money towards the charity. So happy bidding, and I will let you know in a video on Saturday the 12th of March 2022 who is the winner. And as I say, I would like you to please, if you can, pay within 24 hours of that video going out, and then if the person doesn't pay, then obviously they'll go to the next highest bidder. So let's have a look at these paint racks. So what I'm going to do is this is the narrow type, so this is what I'm definitely going to use. And as you can see, as I said on here, you have kit number 12 and kit number 13, which is for your Tamiya, Mr. Hobby paints or whatever, and you've got 4 stacks and you've got 6 stacks, and you can see there it's got a stainless steel shelf and it's 40mm wide, so it can take bottles up to 40mm diameter, or indeed 40mm square. I know some of those Wilder weathering stuffs, I think they're in square bottles, aren't they? Not sure how big they are. And then here we've got the 14 and the 15, and this is the Viejo type bottles, and as you can see 26mm wide, and again we've got the 4 stack and the 6 stack. As you can see, these are fresh, sealed up. I haven't opened them, so we're going to have a look and see what they're like. And Ed has kindly sent me the 4 and the 6, so sorry, the 4 in the 40mm and the 6 in the 60mm, in the 26mm. So we can get all this out and we can see it in here. Okay, so that's the box emptied, and we've got all these ends. We've got acrylic ends with nuts and bolts, so that's obviously a package. And don't forget, you can add to these and you can stack these up as high as you like, I'm guessing, as long as you fix them to the wall or something. So So let me get this unwrapped off camera, because otherwise the noise is going to drive you crazy. These are wrapped in like a blue film to keep them nice and fresh. Okay, so it's all unpacked. As you can see, because this is a 6 stack, I've got 6 of these stainless steel shelves, and they're beautifully folded. To be fair, they've got some fairly sharpish edges on them, so treat them with care. They're not going to cut you as such. I can rub my finger along there, it's not going to cut me, but I should imagine if I hit myself hard with it, it probably would cut. So you might want to just get a bit of fine emery, a bit of Scotch-Brite just to deburr them. I'm not going to worry because I'm adult and I can handle these things, you know. So we've got 6 of those, and then we've got 3 packs of these, and in each of these 3 packs there are 4 end pieces and a bag of nuts and bolts. We've got some rubber O-rings in there as well. So on these, it looks like these have got a, yes they have, these have actually got a protective film, as acrylic normally does on one side. They've got a protective film on them, so you can peel that away and they become very, very clear indeed. You can see, you can hardly, if I hold it up to the lens, you probably see straight through it like it's not even there. There we go. So very, very nice, and they got the Infini logo on them. So this one's saying L and that one's saying R. Oh, okay, because those holes, well, surely that one can just become a left, because it's, you just turn it around. I mean, I don't know why they're calling it left and right. Maybe because of the part, yeah, okay, got the paint part numbers on there and stuff. I don't know why they would be different, but we'll make sure that we stick to what they're saying just in case. So I'm looking on here, and this basically, this is the instruction you get in here of how they go together. So we've got, let's get these out of the way. We've got a bag here, little Ziploc bag with nuts and bolts in, and O-rings. So I'm wondering what the O-rings are for. They're not actually showing the O-rings on here, so maybe they have realised that when you start putting the nuts on, it scratches the perspex, or the acrylic sheet should I say. So that one's a left, that one's a right, so I'll take the plastic off of this one as well. There we go. So that's that. For some reason Jess gets all excited when I do that. So this one goes on the right. I don't know if this is right as you're looking at it, or if it's the right as it's looking at you. Okay, so this is like take 497 now. Right, so basically, as I've said before, these end pieces are the same. If you swap them around, obviously they're not, because you've got these holes in here that need to line up. So basically, if you want the lettering to the back and have it facing inwards, then this is left and this is right. If you want the lettering facing outwards, I don't know why you would, then just basically superimpose them. Okay, so that's going to go like that on there, and as you can see, we've got the paint rack with the paints sort of pointing towards this corner here. Okay, so we'll grab a, as I said, I've done this about 49 times now, and the first time I did it I got it wrong. Basically the paints were almost lead over flat. So with the lettering on the inside, this side is the right. Okay, so that's the best way to do it. And what I'm doing, I'm putting this rubber O-ring on outside of the perspex, and then that will act as like a thread locking device for the nut, if I can get the nut to go on. There we go. Okay, then we can tip that over. I'm not tightening anything up yet, leaving everything loose, and then we can level everything up at the end. Alright, so we're going to do that, put that O-ring on there, like that. Oops. Just like that. Just give that a nip. And then this one here, again, lettering on the back, writing on the inside, and then put that screw on there and up through that hole, which is not the easiest thing in the world if you're not very handy with your hands, but as a modeler you're bound to be. So there we go, that's going to go on like that, and then that will go on like that. And then, see, the thing I like about this, it's screwed together rather than clipped together. And we all know that acrylic or perspex over time will age and crack or whatever. But with the fact that the acrylic doesn't have to do anything, it's not, there's no tabs interlocking or anything like that. Nothing is glued. It's going to last a very, very long time. And then what we can do is just put it down and make sure the feet stand level. Okay, and then we can just tighten everything up. It doesn't need to be graunched up. It's got the rubbers there to stop anything coming undone. So it's just going to sit like that. With those all done up, like so. I wouldn't start getting spanners out and stuff. Usually start cracking things. And there it goes. And then you can put your paints in and they'll sit like that. Okay, so then you've got your next rack going on the top. And the other thing I've noticed, they fit MRP paints. Look at that. How cool is that? You can fit your MRP paints in there. So let's get the next rack on and see how it looks. Okay, so I've got two made up now, and as you can see, what we do now, if I lay this one on its side, what we do now is come along and put the next one down on top. That just slots in there like that, and then we've got holes in here. In here you can see where a bolt goes through, so all I've got to do is come along with a bolt and stick that in there like so. And I'm going to hold that in with my screwdriver, grab an O-ring. Not sure the O-ring is going to do much good here because it's a slot rather than a hole, but we shall see. Just do that up like that, and then do the same again on this side. Put it through, grab hold of it, get the screwdriver in there, hold the screw nice and solid, push the O-ring on like that, give it a twist, and then do up our screw just like that, and then we should be able to, yeah, we can pick that up then by the top one. So that's a two rack now. So as you can see, if I put the paints in with it laid down on its back, you can see we can put our MRP paints in like that, just like so. We can put our Viejo in there. We could put AK in there, but I don't have any because they're crap. I don't have any. I'm not sure if these are the Modeller's World varnishes. They will sit in there when it's actually set up right. They will sit in there, look, but you know, they won't want to sit there properly. The other thing I'm wondering is if the Modeller's World, these are the Modeller's World washes. They don't fit either, so they probably will sit in there. Yeah, they'll sit in there, look, they won't fall out. No, they won't go in the gap there, look. They won't fit down in between there, so not too good for that. But just looking at what else I've got, so the MRP, yeah, all the MRPs will go in there. I'm looking now, the AK Extremes and that won't go in there, but certainly the Viejos and these will. If you've got any of the old, these are the old acrylics, extra acrylics from Haddon's, they go in there. Microsol, ooh, squeezes in there. You have to hold it down when you pull it out. I think that's basically about all I've got here, really. Yeah, your game colour and everything going to go in there. They're going to be absolutely fine. You know, there's the old Viejo model colour. That's got in there absolutely fine. So there we go. So I'll build the rest of the rack up and we'll see how it looks when it's all built up. Right, so there we go. It's all built up. That's the 6-layer one. And as you can see here, if I lay it down, it's not designed to lay flat, but hopefully it will stay. You can see there I've got my Mr. Paints in the bottom, and I've got some Viejos there across the top, and they're easy to get your hand to and get out, so that's a nice touch. But I'm really pleased they fit the MRPs, because that gives me a shelf back on my paint rack so I can spread out my Tamiya paints again. But basically really happy with that. Now I was going to call this video a day here and say that's it, I'm going to put it out and that'll be that. But I've also got, as I showed you earlier, I've got this rack here, and I'm just wondering, I'm wondering if you'd be able to put these together. So I'll be able to literally build this one up, okay, this wide one, and then stick this on top of there and have a rack next to my paint rack, which will go perfectly, and I can put some Tamiya paints and Mr. Hobby paints or whatever, or maybe my AK real colours in there. So yeah, let's go from there, and I'll see you. It'll be a few seconds for you, but it'll be tomorrow for me, and we'll get this open and we'll see if we can actually build that up and get that stacked either one on top of the other or whatever, or maybe even have them sort of in between. So I won't be able to have them in between because the rack won't work. But basically I think what I'll have to do is put this one, the narrow one, on top of this one, on top of this one. We'll see how it works, see if it's possible to do. Okay, I'm back. So this is like 18 hours later for me, a couple of seconds for you. And if you remember, we did this lovely 6-level Viejo rack for the paints and everything, and we found that our MRPs and everything go in there. So now let's have a look at this one. This one is actually ICT0012, and this is the 4-level for the bigger pots, and it says here 40mm, but as I discovered, it says on this one here that it's 26mm. Okay, well, if you measure these MRP pots here, they are 28.1 diameter, so they fit in there. So these must be 28mm, even though they're advertising 26. So I'm thinking that maybe, just maybe, these will be bigger as well. So let's have a look. Same as before, we've got our bagged up ends and everything, and what I'm going to try and do is see if I can do here is stack these up. Now I'm sure they will stack. Yes, they are the same shape in the feet and everything, but the problem is will they interfere with each other, i.e. will I be able to get the paints out? So if I put this one on top of that one, or put that one on top of this one, will I be able to get the paints out? So we're going to open this one up. So we're going to cut through here, which is easier than trying to unwrap it, as I discovered with the last one. Okay, so that's all unpackaged now. We've got the clear film off of these. So again, same as before, we've basically, this time we've got 4 of the actual stainless steel trays, and then we've got 8 of the actual legs, and again they're marked left and right. On these I don't think it really matters, because as you can see, although it does, the hole is actually further back on one than it is on the other. So I'm not sure which way we should go. Again, here we go with even more confusion. I really do wish they would give you some kind of instruction with this, because as I say, although it says left and right, is, you know, which way around is it? I'm looking on the instructions here, and it looks like I've got this right. It looks like they're having the holes more towards the back. So there we go. So basically, we're just going to take this, we're going to take a screw, we're going to put a screw in the hole. Here we go again. In fact, I'll do this off camera. I'll do one end on camera, just so you can see how it goes. That's going to go in there, that's going to go on there like that. We'll get another O-ring, put it on there, grab a nut, put the nut on, there we go, do it up loosely, and then we can swivel that round, grab another screw, put the screwdriver down, put the screw in there, grab an O-ring, slot the O-ring on, just like so, and then grab a nut, screw the nut on. Oh, come on. I mean, I don't know why they didn't just use bloody nylock nuts. I'd say I'm an engineer, and if I worked at this company, these would be made differently than this, I can tell you that now. But once they're together, they're fantastic. But as I say, I just wish they'd have given some better sort of guidance on how they go together. So that's going to go in there. That's going to go in there. O-ring on there. If you can hear Jess crying, it's because the postman's just been and she wants to chew up the letters that he's delivered. So that's going to go in there, and then we've got another screw to go in here. Like so, that's correct, yeah. Whoops, drop the screw. That's going to go, oh Jesus, come on, go in. Right, so we'll hold that screw in there. Grab an O-ring, put that on there, just like so, and then grab a nut, put the nut on there, just like so, and then do it all up finger tight. So there we go. So now we've got our paint rack like that, and it's like it's really lead over, but I guess it's like that so that this is why we leave the bolts loose, so that we can get it to sit flat. I guess it's like that so that we can actually get the pots out, because when you put the next one above it here like that, then if it's not lead over, you're not going to get it out. So the one disadvantage to that, other than having a wall mounted paint rack, is when you actually sit and look at it, you can't necessarily see the colour you're looking at. The Tamiya pots are great because you've got the coloured lids, but like with the MRPs, you need to be able to look at the actual colour that you've got on the edge of the bottle there, as you can see. I have to let it right over for you to see it, but I mean, that is almost lead flat now, but I think you should see what I'm saying. The thing you could do is write the numbers on the top. If you're familiar with your numbers of your paints, you could write the numbers on the lids, or put them high up, and if you look up at them, obviously, then you can see them. But you know, obviously with a standard paint rack on the wall, if this is the wall here, you would have the paint pot like that, so you can actually look at it. Whereas with these, it's like that so that you can get it out. So you're relying on the colour of the lid. The beauty of these things is, remember the old Tamiya 23mm pots? They fit in there. AK Extreme Metal, they fit in there. MRP primer pots, they fit in there. Obviously Tamiya pots. Your one-shot primers, they fit in there. Airbrush thinners, they go in there. AK Ultra Varnish, they go in there. Tamiya LP, Tamiya, let's put the big one in there. So you can see there, you've got all the different sizes and types of paints all in there. Really cool. Now, whether you can still get them in and out with the next one on top, we don't know. But I'm going to go on and build these up, and then we'll take a look. Right, so they're all together, and what I've done a little bit of a difference with one of them. If you remember, like I said, these holes, where are we? These holes, as you can see, they are offset, as you're looking at it now, this way. Okay, so you can build them up so that they're offset to the front or the back, but they're offset towards the lettering that you can see there. So what I've done with one of them, I've done it that way, and then if we put that one on the bottom, you can see the difference. If I put them end to end, if I line the perspex up on the line on the board here, you can see that this side is slightly forward compared to that side. So when I put the top one on there, now like that, then this one is slightly forward of this one, and when I put the bigger pots in, it gives me a little bit more room to get my hands in there to pick them up. Okay, now these others are all the same, so we can still get the pots in, it just gives us a little bit more room to get our finger in to pick them up, as you can see. Okay, so have I got that right? Yeah, I've got that right. So you can see it gives us a little bit more room to get our fingers in there. So that's the only reason I've done that, just to bring the bottom one slightly more forward. Other than that, I mean, even if you don't do it, you can still get them all in, but you may as well. What's the harm? Okay, so as far as stacking them goes, I've taken one of the narrow type off of the rack. So we've got the rack here. Okay, I've taken all the paints out. So there's the narrow type there. So I've just taken one off to make it easier to handle. So we've got this one here, which is normal with the actual shelf slightly further back. And as you can see, if we put our MRP paints in, we can still get them in and out absolutely fine. Same with the Viejo. Okay, so we can have this one on the top here. Whoops. Oh, come on. We can have that one on the top there with our Tamiya paints in or whatever and still get to them absolutely fine. We've got our MRPs and everything in there and we can still get to them absolutely fine. Likewise, I say likewise, I haven't tried it yet. If we actually put that one on top of that one, we can still, we can still get all our big pots and everything in there, and then we can obviously put them in there like that. So they are stackable. Now, the one thing you will notice, if you do buy a pair of these, you will see that when you stack them together, they are slightly different. So you can see here we've got the legs on the clear here. Okay, get it in camera. You can see they are slightly different, and there is a gap here, so it's actually sitting on those legs rather than the middle, but you can still get that bolt in there. You can see we can still get a bolt in there and bolt them together, so that'd be absolutely fine. Likewise, when you go this way, you're sitting on the middle part rather than on the legs, but again you can still get a bolt in there. So I will probably have these on the bottom, and I think what I will do is I will put my forward one at the bottom and then put that one on top of there, put these on top of here like so, and obviously when they're all bolted together it'll be a lot more rigid, a lot more sturdy. Okay, and then I can put this one we're getting very close to the camera now, on top of there. And obviously if you can have this against the wall, it might be an idea just to put a strap or something on it. And then I can put that final one on top of there. And we're so close to the camera, we're probably out of focus. But you can see now, I'll take a picture of it and put it at the end for you. But you can see now that we've got that there, and it is, let me just measure the height, 45, it's roughly 600 millimeters tall. So it's a decent height rack. So we can get in here, we can get, I can't remember how many it was now. I think it was 32 Tamiya paint pots in here, and I think it's 66 Viejo pots in there. And obviously if you're going to mix and match with your MRPs and everything, then it's going to be a big difference. But if I just take them apart, you can see that you can actually have them next to each other, you can have them on top of each other. I will have them on top of each other. I will just put a screw in the wall, just one screw, because you've got this cutout in the top here. Okay, where are we? We've got a cutout in the top here, so obviously I can put a screw in there into the side of my other paint rack, and that will just prevent it from being pulled or knocked over. It doesn't need much, it's fairly stable without any of it, but just in case, if you just catch the edge, I mean, you can see that it's, even if I put some paints in there on the upper shelves, you can see if I put these paints in here, you can see that it's still, yeah, it's still quite stable. It doesn't want to fall over. It's not trying to fall over. So there we go. So that is that one, as I say, is the ICT 0012, which is the 4 shelf wide paint rack for your Tamiya, Mr. Hobby, and obviously everything else paints. And then there's also a 6 stack of those. That's the ICT 0013. They're all in stock at Premium Hobbies. And then we've got the ICT 0014, and that one is the narrow type for your Viejo and whatever. And then there's the 6 shelf one there, which is ICT 0015. So I've got ICT 0015 and ICT 0012. The prices of them are the 4 rack in either the narrow or the wide. So the 4 shelf is £39.95. So with your 10% off, that's going to be roughly £35. Then you've got the 6 rack in the narrow or the wide, and that one is £54.95. So that's going to come out around about £50 with your 10% off. So not too bad. They're not the cheapest paint racks in the world, but they are very nice quality with the stainless steel and the acrylic. And they're going to last you a very, very long time. And I much prefer these to the wood. I will say, my paint black on the wall, I have actually made it from timber. It's not chipboard or plywood or anything. And I have noticed that it kind of stains over time. It's sort of, I guess it's the paint and stuff in the atmosphere in here. And also the dust kind of gets ground in, rather than on here it will just brush off. So, you know, and if you spill any paint or anything on it, if it's on your workbench right in front of you, it's going to be easier to clean it off on here than it would be if it was made of wood. And also if it gets damp, it's not going to warp. I'm just trying to think of all the positives. The negatives over this over wood is, obviously it's slightly more expensive, I'm guessing. It's certainly more expensive than making your own. But it's a much more rigid, easier system than making your own. And you've got the sharp edges. So I guess there's a downside to it, but hey, you know, I'm trying to think of downsides rather than having to try and think of upsides. So that's a good thing. So if you want to get them, ICT 1213 14 or 15 Infini paint racks. They're in paint racks in the tools section. I think they're in the tools section of the website. And as I say, $54.95 for the tall one, $39.95 for the short one. So that's going to be about roughly 50 or 35 with your discount NMB10. So go take a look. Okay, so here we are at the bench. You can see there's the Stug I'm working on with its gun behind it. And then I've got some bits and pieces in there, you can see. There's my Premium Hobbies glue holders. I've only got a 2 for the MRP Mr. Hobby, so I've got to have a spare bottle there. And then lots and lots of bits. There's my T-Hoo vacuum, which I absolutely love. Cocktail sticks, fantastic cotton buds from Simon, thank you very much. And there's my Premium Hobbies sanders holder with all my Infini sanders in there, so that's nice. And then we've got my bin, and we've got a thing there for my glue. Knives on the side here, there's the prices written down for the video. And then we've got my controller there for the camera. There's the camera there, you can see it there. And then we've got some lighting, is the new light I got, and then there's the other light I've got, and then you can see my shelving unit here. And up on the top of there we got some bits and pieces. You can see there's the Y-wing and my Lego box and some sand and stuff. And then here is the paint rack that I've just built, and you can see there it is. And we've got in the bottom, we've got in there, we have all the MRP. These are all the MRP primers, and then I've got my they're the Styrol Res primers, just in a different bottle. And then there's the matte varnish from AK. Got the large Tamiya paint pot over there, and then I've got my Mr. Hobby metallics here. And then I've got these things are great. These are the GX, Mr. Colour GX paints. That's the black and the white there. They are amazing paints. Then I've got the Modeller's World varnishes in there. Just to show you here as well, there's a Humbrol square pot enamel that fits in there as well. And then I've got some MRP paints here in the wider shelf because I've run out of room. And then I've got the rest of my MRP paints there. All my Viejo game colours. I've got my Viejo Model Air there. And I've got my Viejo Model colours there. Which really, they should all just go in the bin because they're not very good, are they? And over here, this is the paint rack that I made. And you can see I've got all my thinners and everything along the bottom here. And then I've got the oil brushes here. There's some more thinners in bottles there. And then here we've got the AK real colours. They're really good. Got my own mixes there. Mr. Surfacer. Oh, yes. And then there we've got this stuff here is brilliant. This Modeller's, not this stuff there. What we're talking about, this one here. Acrylic Doctor. Modeller's World Acrylic Doctor. That stuff is amazing. And then we've got the Airbrush Cleaner there. This stuff is amazing for making your oils, the oil washes and everything, because it doesn't smell like enamel thinners, although it acts the same. Tamiya LP paints, my latest favourite paints. You can see I've got 3.5 shelves there. Tamiya drill hanging up, drill from Amazon. And then when we go up here, I've got all my Tamiya XF colours. So we've got XF1 all the way down to XF 86. That's as many as I've got there. And then here I've got all my Tamiya gloss colours all doubled up. So we've got X8 there, and then in behind we've got X10 because I don't have X9. So there we go. So and then at the top there is just odds and ends, bits and pieces. That stuff there, That's from Hero Boy, clear coat lacquer. It's amazing, really, really good stuff. These paint pots here from Hero Boy don't fit in the wide rack, by the way. Neither do these, neither do these. Okay, so they don't fit in the wide paint rack. And then here you've got some of this rubbish metallic paint, which will go in the bin, really. So there we go. And then at the top there, we've got my Absalom oils, some Russian paint set there in the AK Real colours, some more oils there. There's all those Russian paints there, which are lovely. Got those things on the top. And then I've got the mixes there. They're the sets, the Mr. Hobbies sets. They're really good. Really good. That one there, you can see how old they are, £8.50. That's the US Naval Aircraft sets. You've got all those colours to do your Naval Aircraft. And they're actually the C range. And you can see there's the colours. A while ago, you couldn't actually get them individually, but now you can. So there we go. So that's basically that. And you can see we've got all this space here, which I'm waiting to fill with LP paints. And you can see, as I was talking earlier, how the wood stains. You can see where the paints have been. And you can see the wood, it's stained, it's dirty. And you can't clean it because it's gone into the wood. So there we go. So that'll be that then, guys. So that's the paint rack there. Really, really nice, lovely bit of kit. And really, really pleased with it. And then come round to the bench here, you can see. This is something I must try and do a review of. These are the Ushi splatter mesh things. They are photo etch. Basically photo etch plates, and then you paint through them. I've got to try them out myself first, and then I'll do a demo. And then obviously these are going to be going for to the highest bidder, as I mentioned earlier in the video, for Ukraine. And there we go. Another quick look. There you go. That's how that's coming off. I'm actually ready to start filming part 10 of that now. You've only seen up to part 7. So there we go, guys. Thanks for watching. Get yourself some of these paint racks. They are really, really good. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.